We're now joined by Nthakoana Ngatane, independent journalist. Good evening, Nthakoana. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. I must say, the statement of the African nation Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of, must have surprised many. How has the international media been covering the story of Trump and Lesotho, and what has been the general reaction across the globe?
I'll tell you what. So the position I'm in now is that I organize a very big Africa festival in Vienna, Austria. And nowhere is fascism and Nazism more scary than in Austria and Germany around the world, because you remember that these are the countries that were at the heart of first the First World War and secondly the Second World War. So people here do not tolerate nationalism or Nazism as it was called. However, in terms of what President Donald Trump said about Lesotho, it has really raised curiosity and done a lot of work, surprisingly, maybe not, for the tourism of Lesotho, but also for us who are trying to promote both Africa and Lesotho in particular, because people are now asking, what is Lesotho? Where is Lesotho? So now we have the opportunity actually to say that Lesotho is a country that you can visit, that you can do business with, and change the perception that has been held up until now, that when you deal with Africa or when you deal with Lesotho, it's about aid and it's about charity. So in a sense, it has improved the way that people look at Lesotho, but also even more, the coming into power of Donald Trump has reminded Europe in particular where it doesn't want to go, which is where it was when we ended up with the First and the Second World Wars.
So most certainly there's been an upside to this specific statement. But there are also many high-profile individuals who have visited Lesotho. In fact, Prince Harry co-founded the charity Santibela, which supports children who live in extreme poverty or are affected by HIV. Surely the US president would have read reports on Prince Harry's visit to Lesotho back in October when we were all reporting on it, especially because he lives in the United States now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Prince Harry didn't only start a charity. He lives in Lesotho part of the time. He says he owes Lesotho and Africa for taking him out of a period of depression after his mother had passed away. You remember that he spent a lot of time with herd boys in Lesotho, and that's what led to the founding of Sintibali, his charity, with the Prince of Lesotho, Prince Seeiso, and they do brilliant, brilliant work. So there is no way that President Donald Trump can say he doesn't know Lesotho. But also, not long ago, he was in the news because maybe he is far removed from what his companies does or the people that he does business with do. But as you saw in that report earlier, he makes golf shirts out of Lesotho because one of the biggest ways that Lesotho deals or trades with the United States of America is through textiles. It is one of the biggest exporters because Lesotho, under the Africa Growth Opportunity Act, Africa Growth Opportunity Act of the United States, qualifies to export to the United States duty and quota free. A lot of manufacturers come from Asia and they manufacture in Lesotho. So Lesotho has become a hub and a big trading partner for the United States. So it's not just aid that is coming to Lesotho, it is pure trade and sometimes even investment. The reason the United States, for instance, has decided to bring in more funding for agriculture in Lesotho is because at the end of the day, when it does that, American companies get work in Lesotho, but in return, Lesotho is then able to do even better trade with the United States of America. So sometimes he may say things, I suppose, for the gallery that sound funny, but on the bottom of it, we know that there's real business and real trade relations going on between the two countries.
Then one wonders, how could he have missed all of this trade? Or perhaps, as you say, he could have been playing to the gallery, because we are now discussing this very matter. But all of this is happening during the Mushweshwe walk. I mean, most certainly there would be an upside, I suppose, as you say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, as I say, here where I am, I organize the Africa Tage Festival. It's the biggest festival, the biggest Africa festival here in Vienna. And we bring African businesses to do trade and culture with European businesses, but particularly businesses here in Austria. And I say that while we thought this may be negative, it has actually made people more curious. And maybe if you ask the organizers of Mushweshwe Walk, they will tell you that as a result of what President Donald Trump said, maybe some of the numbers went up, but I can tell you that for us in particular, who are here in Europe, we have certainly had more interest in the work that we are doing. And today in particular, we sent out a message to say, for us in Lesotho, if you're looking for something good to do for a holiday, you can actually ski in Africa. These are words that people, I think, don't put together in their heads because they don't think, how can you ski in Africa when it's hot? But Lesotho is high. It snows in winter. You've seen that. So, yeah, I think this winter, because of the messaging that we are putting out, because we are saying we know Lesotho, even if President Donald Trump doesn't know Lesotho, I think we're going to be seeing more visitors coming to Lesotho.
Most certainly, and hopefully many of them, once in Lesotho, will take images and then tag Donald Trump to say, this is Lesotho, we're here now. All thanks to you. Nthakoana, thank you very much for joining us this evening. That is independent journalist Nthakoana Ngatane speaking to us there.